are learning new details about that New York subway shooter that killed a passenger on Sunday. As police continue their manhunt, they've identified the suspect as 25-year-old Andrew Abdullah. Witnesses reported seeing the gunman pacing in the last car of that Manhattan-bound train just before the shooting. For more, let's bring in ABC News senior investigative correspondent Katersky, also former NYPD chief of detectives Robert Boyce. So police are asking for the public's help in finding this suspect. We know New Yorkers, Aaron, it has helped tremendously in the past. So while that all call has been put out, what more do we know about the suspected shooter as the investigation continues?
Kira, Andrew Abdullah has a long and violent criminal history, according to the NYPD and prosecutors in both Manhattan and Brooklyn. He has prior arrests that include gun offenses. He has a prior arrest for attempted murder, perhaps some gang-related offenses. So he has been in and out of the system a number of times, more than a dozen times in recent years, even served some federal time as part of a larger gang-related plot, just a few months of federal time before he was back out on the street, and according to police and court records, back committing crimes. And on Sunday, police believe he was on the Manhattan-bound Q train that was crossing into Canal Street when he opened fire for no reason that police can detect at a 48-year-old man named Daniel Enriquez, whose family said was riding the train because he was on the way to brunch. He collapsed in the subway car as other riders cowered in the corners for cover. Thankfully, there was no more shooting, and Abdullah, according to police, seems to have just disappeared into the crowd once the train reached the station.
So, Bob, this shooting comes on the heels of the Brooklyn subway shooting that all three of us were covering together. And since then, there has been a higher police presence inside the subway system. So how was this shooter able to get away?
Oh, Kira, this is a Sunday morning in Manhattan, from Brooklyn to Manhattan. Not a lot of ridership in those hours. So it's a little unusual as far as deployment for the police department. We want them riding on cars. We want them very apparent in the subway platforms. But this is somewhat out of the norm here. This individual, extraordinarily dangerous man, 19 priors, 25 years old, and he just apparently assassinated this man for no reason, no provocation at all, no words between them. So very scary. You're seeing his picture now. Chances are that hair is shaved off, and you have all these resources going at him right now to bring him in. And I think they'll get him in within a very short amount of time. But 57% increase in crime in the subways this year. 8 homicides last year in 2021. That's the most since '97. Now on pace to have the same number. We have 4 already this year. It's not June yet. So these are difficult times in New York when we're trying to get our city back to work and back to moving around what once was. So these are tough times, and it's really unexplained to me as far as motive, why he would do that. So there, we may never find that out. We may arrest him and he may never talk to us, so we'll never really know why he did this. But again, every officer in the city has his picture. We're going to engage the entire public in New York to identify him to help us, as we did with Frank James. Same type of scenario. Let's get him in before he hurts anybody else.
Indeed. And Bob, the alleged gun used in this shooting has now been recovered. Help us understand what's likely happening right now with this manhunt, trying to put the gun to an owner, possibly this shooter. Background details here.
Yeah, a very strange story. He handed it off to a homeless individual who then sold the gun to another person for $10. That person saw what was going on and turned it to the police, from what I understand. We were able to find out exactly how that happened. We saw him on video hand off the gun to the homeless individual. So there's some strange things here you don't normally see. So he pops up top now, and he walks about, and now he doesn't have the gun. So, but he has some distinguishing marks on his clothing, from what I understand. It helps us track him after that. Got to remember also that everybody in subways now is wearing a mask. It makes identification difficult, where we didn't have this before. So that's a big issue. That may contribute to crime in the subways, is that people wearing masks down there, and we can't make identifications. It makes detectives work harder. But in this case, they still made the identification. They still identified the person who did this crime, and are going after him now.
And apparently has a laundry list of arrests as well. Aaron, Bob, will stay on top of it. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.